Yes, and we're back again. En route to clarity, the draw out, myself, Agent X, Black Yoda, Oracle status, all that good stuff. Got a good one today. One that has been in the making for a long while. It's hard to get everybody in the same place at one time, but we kind of half done it. I say half, but that's another story. But we done it in the end. So yeah, special one. A couple of friends in the house. Let me introduce. We start from my right to my left. We got DJ LR Ross. DJ Busby. And we got MC Anarkie over there. Obviously I've known you guys for a long time, but it's a little breakdown of who you are, what you've done, what you do, and how long you've known each other. That's another story as well, but yeah, just give us a breakdown, D. Laz, we start with you, man.
Boy, yeah. I don't know where to start.
Well, you're a DJ for one. That helps.
Yeah, started DJing 97, about that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a good 20 plus years, yeah.
What made you start?
Yeah. Probably this man here, you know.
Yeah. Give us a story behind that.
Well, he was the first man with a set of decks that I remember, innit? When we was young, we used to go around his house. He was already on station with this man. They were on Eruption FM, was it? It was Eruption, innit? So yeah, I used to just go up there with these lot when they used to do their radio shows. Yeah. And yeah, just took it from there, really. Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
Jay,
so he was the main man behind it. Yeah,
Jay,
definitely.
what about you, main man?
Yeah, well, you say that, but I learnt from like when I was over Hartington Park them days there. I used to listen to a house across the road from the park, and he used to hear drum and bass music from outside, Jason and that side. One time we went out his door and said, you know, let's knock on his door and ask him what he's playing and that. And we went upstairs and he had one deck, one little one that didn't mix properly. And I asked him if he could teach me how to mix. He gave me Trip to the Moon and some other tune from Prodigy.
Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, and I learnt then.
Big up Jason.
And then that was it, yeah. Just started mixing from then. I was just like, you know what, saving my little pocket money. Them times we used to do paper round. I used to save my money, and spend it. I bought one deck and it just started from there, and then Christmas, boom, got into the DJing thing.
How much was it them times, the deck?
Oh, I can't even remember, you know. I remember, no, you know what it was? This was the thing. I saved up a couple £100, maybe I say a couple £100, but it was only like £50 a week I was earning them time. And when I got to a point, my dad went, you know what, now you've saved that, I'm going to go and get it for you. Yeah. So he could see that I was saving. He went, all right, listen, I know that you've done that. And then he actually bought me the setup.
Yeah, 1210s or was it?
Yeah, it was 1200s.
1200s,
yeah. So them times, getting kicked out of school as well. So it was like, you know what, all right, stay at home, learn how to mix. Yeah. So it was something to keep me off the street still. I actually found it quite therapeutic at the point there, just mixing and them times.
So how did you get on the station?
That's where it goes on now from
See?
him.
Alright, so let's go.
That's
MC Anarkie.
Anarkie.
How did you start MCing, mate?
I started DJing. I was a DJ.
Don't have to tell me. I got to pretend I don't know and ask the questions.
And basically, where I never had nothing.
He wasn't DJ Anarkie, but that's another story. But
no, I think I had about 3 names.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was Bandit at one point. I think I was Judge Dredd. Yeah. I had a few names. But I had a friend, he had the decks. There was 2 turntables. They weren't even pitch control. We learned to mix just holding the buttons and do you know what I mean? The pins trying to slow it down. But there was his, so I would go around his house and then he'd say, get on the mic and I'm sending some mixtapes to Kent. They won't know if you nick someone's lyrics. And I just thought, I can't do that. So I started to write some. And we done a party. And it went off. The party was good. So I become the MC. So that's kind of where it started. So I just started to write lyrics. Got good at it. Thought it was kind of the thing, and that's just where I went. So the DJing just got pushed all to one side for Probably 10 years, I reckon. 10 years. I didn't do anything, just a mix every now and then. So even with you, innit, I'd jump on the decks or whatever and just have a mix. But it was just MCing, and that's kind of what I'd done.
How did you get onto radio?
By that party. So the house party we did, there was a guy there, and basically his missus was having a baby. He needed some time off the show, so he said, "Can you cover the show?" So we were just like, "Yeah." I mean, I was 13, something like that, 13, 14 at the time. Squeaky voice. We were like, "Yeah, of course." We covered the show. So the first week I didn't go because my mum wouldn't let me. I was a kid. She was like, "No, you're not going radio." It was like 2 a.m. It was in probably Bow or Hackney. I can't even remember. She's like, "No, you're not going."
Where'd you live at the time?
Tottenham.
Okay, yeah.
So the next week, I persuaded her all week, please. Got someone to watch my brother and sister because she worked.
Yeah.
Went to the radio show. We done the show. In that week, he was like, "Look, we need to meet up. Like, we got to have a chat." So I was like, "All right, okay." So we met up, and he goes, "Listen, what have you done?" I was like, "Oh, we've done something wrong." And we're a bit worried about it. And he goes, like, "I can't take my show back." We was like, "Why?" He said, "You guys are smashing it." He said, like, "The show's yours. Take the show." So it was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah." So we had that show. We was on the radio maybe about a year and a bit, and then me and Jay met. So we then.
We never met. We met in school.
Yeah, that's where it was. It was in school. So it was in school. I was selling records in school. I had a little shop window there. I was doing it as a mini enterprise. So he was buying tunes off me, and I had all of the freshest records.
How'd you get them?
So basically, I done a work experience. So you know when everyone got sweets and had 50 quid.
We was a bit different.
So in my work experience, I worked in Music Power on Green Lanes.
Yeah.
So I worked there, and then I kept working there after. So I done my 2 weeks work experience, and then I kept working there on a Saturday, sometimes after school. Sometimes if I didn't go to school, I'd just go there. Yeah. And I kept in touch with one of the distributors who used to come to my house. She used to bring the car, say you'd want that, because I couldn't play them. So I'd take the records. I used to have a little stereo where the record went on and it stuck out of the top. That's how old school we're going. Yeah. So I used to put the record on, 000 the tapes, play a clip of it, write down the number, get the next record, write the name. So if you asked me for a song, I could put it in, 0 it, and forward it to where that record would be, and play it in school. I had a little window, a little tape player. I used to sell all the records in all the Kemet stuff I had. Helicopter, when that come out, you could buy it in the shop.
These kids today will never know the graph. I'm telling you.
They were £2.25 to me. So I used to pay £2.25 a record. There was fivers all day.
Wow. Is that how much you were selling to me?
All comes out in the end.
Fivers all day.
Right with the lights on, mate. All comes out under the lights, mate. We thought we were mates. But seriously though, man. So, yeah, okay. So, and that was Eruption, right?
Eruption, yeah. So we was on there for, I think it was about 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah. And then obviously went on to do your own promotions, raves.
Yeah, there was raves. There was a few change stations a few times, and then kind of the bits and bobs in between, and kids, you know, and then moving, got out of the area. So just kind of life takes over. One thing gets swapped for another, and you kind of drop certain things out. Music was something I dropped out for a bit.
And Jay?
Until I come along again 2013 and said, "Listen, I've got an idea for you."
Yeah. But, and Laz, what about you, man? How did you get up on the station?
My first station was Passion FM.
Passion.
Yeah. Passion. Yeah, and that was a link through these man as well. Through Mikey, wasn't it? Yeah. I think that was 99. 99 thereabouts, yeah.
Is Mikey the same house with him, Mikey? Did he own Passion?
Mikey was, he was an owner, innit?
Is it the same one that owns House of Him?
No, not today.
Okay.
No.
Okay, alright. Well, if there's anything else you don't want to tell the people about yourself, if you want to bear any truths.
What was your favourite station though, out of all of the ones that you got played on?
For me personally, was Eruption.
Eruption, yeah.
Yeah, because we were young, yeah, and the scene at the time was drum and bass.
Yeah.
But it was jungle. It wasn't
Jungle,
drum and
innit?
bass.
Yeah,
it was jungle.
yeah,
It was, and Eruption was more of a hardcore station at the time.
Yeah.
And we was like doing graveyard shift. We were coming on at like 2 in,
Okay.
finishing at 5. We had like a 3-hour set. Yeah. But at them times, the hippodrome
Yeah.
would start at 4 in
Of
and
course.
finish at 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
So every month.
those
So-
months, yeah.
Yeah, so them times we were like, yeah, we'll take that slot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then we were doing that. I mean, like I said, we done it for a couple of years, and then we kind of changed how Demolition Crew, who managed the station at the time, they kind of wanted more jungle on there.
Yeah.
So I remember one time when me and him were driving up West End, and we put the radio on, and they'd put a tape on of us. So we was listening to ourselves on radio. It was like, it was the first time it was just blowing my mind. Like, not on radio, he's switching it through, and it was one of our sets. And then we kind of started playing out in certain big raves and Rocket and that, and then started getting a bit too big for our boots and thought, yeah, we're going to go elsewhere, we don't need no one, and I'm going to go to Garage now, because that's the new scene. My name's DJ Busby, and and then...
What was that transition like,
story.
going from jungle to garage?
Well, for me, it was kind of difficult at first, because Garage, drum and bass, you kept the mixing for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And in Garage, you're trying to mix it the same way, and you're thinking, the vocals are coming in here, and it didn't really work. So it took me a little while to get that right.
To adjust, yeah.
Yeah, but then, the new dance moves were I was like, I'm going to that transition.
And did you all start on jungle and then go to garage? Even you as an
Nah, not for me, nah.
MC? Yeah. Did
I started raving jungle, but I
Yeah.
started DJing to garage.
Oh,
I
okay.
never DJ to jungle.
Okay.
Nah.
See.
So I was hardcore. So jungle wasn't even really about when I started. I was.
It was
It
the
was
rave
early,
scene. It was the
days,
rave scene.
Yeah. So jungle
okay.
was
Roller
coming in.
Express.
But as the jungle come in, the hardcore got dropped. And the same. So the transition from the kind of jungle into the garage was because as an MC, the tunes changed, the music changed, the scene went dark, everything was sinister, and the sounds were very. It was like devil music to me. I didn't like it, and as an MC, I just couldn't catch the vibe off of it.
Yeah.
And I was listening to garage at EZ on Freak, and the vibe was there. You had CKP on the mic for him, and everything was just bumpy. Went to a couple of raves, and it was girls. I'd never seen girls in a drum and bass. Ever. And it was like everyone was dressed up, and I just thought, this is nice. I like it. It just everything was better. And that's, when I think all of the drum and bass heads kind of went into that, and then the clothes change, innit? Like
what I kind of noticed as well
in.
is that the big DJs, they tend to leave the scene first, and then everybody else kind of wants to rave where they're raving. That's why all the girls are dressed up and everybody's there, and it's because if you think about it, like when we was raving to jungle, all those big jungle DJs, they were raving to garage.
No, that's right.
Do you get what I mean?
I remember that.
And the reason why I remember that is because we started going to a couple of those
we'd
VIP
see them in the raves.
and we'd see them in
the
there.
raves,
Do you get what I mean?
yeah,
And we'd
that's
be like,
right.
oh, that's so and so, or that's do you get what I mean? So, and I think that's what kind of always kind of determined the shift is, like you said, like where the girls are, and that kind of a scene. Because, like you said, when it comes to like when the break beats and the certain samples came into the music, it did get darker. So even the crowd that's attracted to the raves is different. Do you get what I mean?
Everything was different.
That's
the
what I'm
vibe
saying.
was
The whole
different.
thing's different. Do you get what I
It
mean?
switched.
So it switched from raving and rah rah to it become a scene, isn't it? It became a thing. Do you get what I mean? But anyway, it's a good segue because we're gonna stay there. But I'm gonna ask the first question, if you don't mind. And the first question, because I got a few, all kind of loosely based around the same thing, but you know me, I always segue. We're going to digress anyway at some stage, but the first question I'm going to ask today is, do we pay enough homage to our underground legends? Or when I say that, I mean like, do we preserve our cultures? Because out of these little pockets of, I don't know what you want to call it, culture. Out of these little pockets of culture springs a whole scene, and then, as you was referring to earlier, it dies, people literally throw it away. Do you get what I mean? And move on to the next scene. But those scenes literally create the next scene.
That's right.
Do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
literally, they go hand in hand. So it's almost like you get to a stage where now a grime artist wouldn't understand the link between them and, say, for example, Heartless Crew or you guys, or do you understand what I mean? How it's intrinsically interlinked, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the UK.
Yeah,
do you understand what I mean?
definitely.
So when I ask this question about preserving the culture, what I mean is, do we preserve the culture? Do we do enough to preserve the culture? Do we pay enough homage to our underground legends? Or do we actually have a culture, and actually our culture is fads and phases?
When it comes to the music scene, so that because the music scene and the party scene, they're almost like two different scenes, but they're the same scene, the same time. Because like when you talk about the MCs and the DJs, it's kind of separate to the artists and how things went that way. Do you know what I'm saying? But one thing I've realized is that these scenes ended up preserving themselves. But there's only there's like a window for you to be known within that scene. And if you're known within that window, you will always be able to play. There might be like a 5-10 years gap where you become, like, say for instance, you're the prime scene now, yeah. Then you have like 5 to 10 years in that, and then there will be a scene that comes that takes over your scene. So there will be a quiet patch for a little bit, but there will always be the people from your time that will always support you. That's one thing I've realized. I think the homage payments get more. You get more of the homage from the people that were there in the beginning stages with you. Do you get what I'm saying? So if, let's say for instance, you was a big DJ in 95, you could still play 2005, 2015 and now, because everyone from that generation there will remember you, you know what I'm saying? And they will carry your legacy and your name and let the kind of younger people know that end up filtering through. But there will be a quiet patch where you feel like there is no homage, if you get what I'm saying, because there's that turnover bit where the next generation needs to come in. Do you get what I'm saying? So and I don't think you can ever get like homage from the next generation.
I'm not necessarily saying you need to have homage from the next generation,
because I don't think they understand.
Well, no.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not-
So
it's
it's
not-
hard for them to give you homage.
It's not
but
necessarily
the
like
people
that.
that were there can give you homage.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is that when you say about cultures are preserved because they're like almost ways of life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I think about, like, for example, who's listening to acid or rave now? I'm sure there is someone somewhere who's still got their, do you know what I'm saying, psychedelic t-shirt and with the little smiley face on it, and still got a white glove with a, do you know what I mean, going.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they still have events.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But on the whole, could you say, because that's intrinsically attached to jungle, do you see what I mean? Which is
they've all got a
do you
step.
get, do you see what I
They
mean?
all
Like
play a part, definitely.
and they're all intertwined. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that certain ones get preserved, and like you said, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't even say they get preserved. I'd say they come back around, like you said. So they come in and out of fashion as and when.
Yeah.
The hardcore niche people who were doing it will continue to do it for however long.
Yeah.
But the masses come in and out of the scene, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, like I say, the rave scene was there. You had one song. I'm sure we all know it. I see.
Yeah.
And then it becomes bigger than just the niche people who were doing it in these fields and places, and now everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Then what happens is you throw some break beats in there. Do you see what I mean? Or
Becomes
some
hardcore.
kids start throwing some break beats in there because that's their influences from
interpretation
hip hop
of it,
and not just from the music they listen to. Do you get what I mean? Hip hop, this one, that one. So they bring the break beats into it. Now it becomes something else. Doesn't have a name.
It was almost like an advertisement for the drugs at the time, because acid was big at the time, innit, as well.
Yeah, of course.
People
Yeah,
taking
of course.
acid quite a lot those
Of course.
times, and so acid,
Yeah.
and then you had like then it turned to E's, and you had E's are good, E's are good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was a youth man singing that tune. I didn't know what he was talking about.
He's a good guy.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that was like that was like the next generation of acid, innit? Is That was, you know what I'm saying? So
That was
it was
the
like
follow-up.
that was the follow up, but then it was what there was like it's more about ease now. innit?
And my point is they're all intrinsically attached to each other.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, do we just have a culture? Like, so on one hand, I'm saying, is it that we don't preserve the cultures, or do we actually have a culture? But the culture is of fads and phases. Do you understand?
I
So
would
that
say
is our
more than- I would
culture.
say, yeah.
Do you see what
I
I mean?
would
See what I
say
mean?
more
Like,
fads
so
and phases.
it's not so much that we don't place importance on the culture. That is our culture. Fads and phases. Do you understand?
But those
the
fads and
because-
phases go with the ages.
no,
That's
what I'm saying to
saying.
you is there's still people somewhere right now listening to ska.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
still people
Yeah.
listening to blues. There's
Yeah.
still people listening to R&B.
Not so much
like
that I'm talking
rhythm.
about the UK scenes
Okay.
that are intrinsically attached to each other.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but what I'm saying is they become like, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, they were always underground,
Yeah.
but like you said, they get a window of light shone on them.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
once that window's gone,
It's-
they go back to whatever they were.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's my point. But so that's why I'm saying, is it not a thing of preserving cultures? Because, like you were saying, the niche people within that culture will always be there.
Will always be
so
there.
they'll never leave.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's to use it to coin a term then, like boxing, you have casual fans. Do you see what I mean?
Definitely.
They're the people who actually pay for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
If Anthony Joshua was waiting for the hardcore boxing fans to make up all the money that he makes, he wouldn't make that much money because there's not that much hardcore boxing
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah.
Most of the people who watch the fight are casual fans.
Yeah. Definitely.
Half of them don't even know who he's
Certain
fighting.
names.
They just want to watch it. They just want to watch Anthony Joshua knock someone out.
Yeah.
That is what a casual fan is. So what I'm saying is with our music underground scenes, are most of the people who get attracted to them just casual people who just happen to come in because that big song came out?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying to you?
I think it's a follow thing as well. So if
That's
your
my
friends
point.
are going out
Definitely.
raving
That's my
and,
point.
like you might
A
take
lot of
someone
people
to
follow
a
the
rave.
crowd.
That's what
They've never been
that's
to
my point.
anything with that music before. Go there, love it, and now they're a fan.
Hmm.
But I think for people coming in and why new scenes are generated is because if you look at the scenes that we started in, the same people that was there when we was there are there now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
they're not moving.
Exactly.
So what happens is the reason why the music changes is because people can't do that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're not allowed in.
Yeah.
They're trying to cut dubs
It's
and
fu-
give them to
it's-
DJs. The
yeah,
DJs won't play
It's
them.
funny. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because you lead on to another one of my questions. Then, is there an old boys club?
Yes.
What's that mean?
Is there an old boys club within the underground music scene?
Old boys club.
Yeah,
Yes.
an old boys
Yeah,
club.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I think
Or because there's an or. Because we like to be objective. We don't want to just put one perspective out there. So, or do you find your level dependent on your talent? So basically, to coin an old phrase from the music industry, you can sell shit, but you can't stop a good thing. Meaning, you find your level talent-wise. So if you're that good, you will make it regardless, kind of thing. Or is it a case of there is actually an old boys club within the quote-unquote underground music scene?
Definitely.
I think there is.
I think
And I also
I think there is too. Yeah.
when a tune breaks through or an artist breaks through, for instance, say more song wise, when a song comes through that is so good, everyone has to jump on it. So that song blows up, that song's everywhere, that song, it could even chart, it's that popular.
Yeah.
The pressure's then on for the next track.
Yeah.
And as that person then got it because they got kind of fast tracked into a place, that when it comes to song number 2, everyone's expecting a lot.
Yeah.
So does it have that? And that's where you see them fall back down, and you don't see people kind of stay up. Things change all the time. So there was people that had to start making songs to then become a DJ because no one would play their music.
Or give them a.
So they had to start to keep their own music private, build up a bit of a
Catalogue.
and a bit of attention to then become a DJ,
And then they're
so they could
exclusive.
get heard
Yeah.
and get out on mates. And then those people have surpassed anyone. So you
Yeah.
look at people like Pendulum, Chasing Status.
Yeah.
They've gone from being just
DJs.
small people from
Yeah.
nothing to being megastars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you look in the house scene and Camel Fat and people like Disclosure, Golden City, it's crazy.
It's true.
You know, and that's sometimes where you have to go. It's like, you're not going to let me in, fine, I'll change the direction. We're going to make Like you look at the grime scene, come from garage.
Yeah,
MC's over garage.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that's how garage started. Grime started.
But
sorry,
it's the same way jungle started, really.
Of course.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
Of course, because
And that's why I bring up the point of the Old Boys Club, because like you said, the same people who were there then are still there now.
But I would call it the longevity club.
The reason why I say that is because I made a point before, we've had this conversation, well, not this conversation, but a similar conversation, and I made the point that, is our underground scene actually underground? Do you get what I'm saying? Because all of these same, that could be the reason for the fads / phases, because all of these phases are controlled by the same people.
Yeah. What's crazy is that
You see what I mean?
It's true.
these lot would have made so much more money than any artist that probably would had a little charted tune
Yeah.
at the time. This is what people don't understand. The people that actually DJs and MCs made a lot more money than the people that was on that had a tune out.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
consistently making money.
They're consistently making money.
Exactly.
You know what I
Every
mean?
week,
All the time. Where some of these artists come and make a little change and then like,
step up.
but because they was on chart show at the time, whatever MTV at the time, it kind of, do you get what I'm saying? Had that thing. That's why I say the longevity club, because there's no such thing as an old boys club in an industry where you won't survive. Do you get what I'm saying? You either survived or you didn't. So if you've survived, then it means you just got longevity. Do you get what I'm saying?
sometimes the scenes though they break, so they become smaller, and then what happens is, instead of them being mass and all over, they start to, a new scene will break through that becomes popular, but it still carries on.
Yeah.
There's still raves, you might have to go further out,
Exactly.
or they might be a
Exactly.
little bit smaller, or the clubs might be a bit more dingy.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
after
yeah.
a while, they start
comes
to
back.
pop up.
Yeah.
You look at people like Andy C and EZ, they do all night shows.
Exactly.
8 hours, just them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the,
yeah.
Exactly.
That's the brand.
Yeah. People pay
It's
crazy
them.
money.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just them.
Yeah.
And when you look at EZ is probably one of the best DJs you'll come across for that tempo of music.
Yeah.
But he's famous for 60 songs.
Yeah.
He's famous for, and rubbish songs as well.
Yeah.
He's pure garage albums there.
Yeah.
And you know, now where I am, if people ask me for garage, if I'm not playing one of those 60 EZ songs, they haven't got a clue what I'm playing.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
I'm
That's
not
right.
playing
That's
anything.
right.
I can
That's
play
right.
anything.
It's a fact.
If I'm not playing Flowers or A Little Bit of Luck,
Yeah.
which is what they think garage is, and that's not garage.
That's the last brand I'm talking about.
That's not garage. I never went to a rave and that's what was played.
What would you
I didn't
lot
wanna
call, what would you
start.
lot call that?
I
then?
didn't want to start. I mean, I'm letting you lot talk on it because I didn't want to start.
But it
'cause
got to
yeah.
pop though, you know,
It's
especially
pop. That's
with the, like in the early days, like with the little bit of luck. Yeah, I remember that when that tune just came up, before it even blew up. You know, like early, it was in some kind of dingy rave, as we would say.
Yeah,
you know, there was there,
yeah.
and then man, he was a tanani. I remember it, and I'm thinking this tune's alright. You know,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was more. It was. Anyway, no, let me just. I'm going to start because you know, man. Anyway,
It was that it had this transition point from like again, it's like that garage to grime thing. Like it was happening, innit? You know,
the grime
before
thing.
it was in the middle. You know what I
grime thing
mean?
was exactly the same with the jungle thing. It's just you got a rave scene where you've got people coming with certain lyrics and same thing was saying the old boys club. They don't really want to let you in, blah blah blah. So you have to start doing your own thing.
Making doors for yourself.
Basically,
when you look at House, they took
by
away
doing
MCs.
that, what happens is the MCs, do you get what I'm saying, became more of a focal point. Do you get what I mean? So, in fact, that's another one of the questions, but I'm not going to go there right this second. I'm going to do it now anyway, the segue. But the point is the MCs became a bit more of a focal point. So then, only because you had people actually wanting to spit lyrics, whereas before, like MCs didn't really do much on the mic. Let's just be real. Like in the
They
rave
were
scene.
more hyping up the crowd.
Yeah, they're just
hyping
hyping up the crowd,
tune.
little, like just basic stuff. It wasn't really anything like, do you get what I'm saying? And
They were more,
yeah, but these
they were
guys,
more of a host.
yeah,
weren't
but
they?
these guys were like into hip hop and like ragga, and so they were spitting lyrics, like they wanted to come and spit albums and stuff over the tracks, and that wasn't really what you done. So they were kind of not really allowed on the mic, from what I remember. Do you get what I mean? And then the radio stations happened. Do you get what I mean? That were playing this breakbeat music, and then they got the little segues to go on there and spit these lyrics, and that's when people started to be more into MCs. Because
Yeah,
before
Rush
that,
FM.
because, yeah, do you
Cool
get what?
FM.
Cool FM, do you get what I mean? And you knew the MCs now. The MC was like, you would listen to a set for an MC now.
That's right. Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he was part of the. Yeah, he was. In fact, let me go to that question. Do you think at any point the MCs became bigger than the DJs, and if so, at what point?
I think
Yes.
they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
definitely.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It started off beautiful, and I think it should have been about the DJ all the way through.
Yeah.
It started off beautiful, and that level was perfect. It changed when, I don't know, maybe 98, 99, when you had 20 MCs on a flyer and 6 DJs.
Crazy, bro.
That's when it changed.
What year are you saying that, James?
No, that was about 2000, 2001, 2002.
Maybe then.
I think he's.
I remember I
impressed
played
with
in Napa 2001 and it just started getting grimy back that kind of times.
And that's the same time where Dizzy come out and then there was more. So that scene was kind of building up. The grime scene was building up then.
Yeah.
So it was like, what are you calling it? Garage. The whole scene was coming off of the back of that.
Well, I was thinking more on the
Yeah.
drum and bass raves at first, because that's when it first started happening. You had
Skibbities and
it had
Yeah,
SAS,
yeah,
and then it was
yeah.
SAS, and then it was
Yeah.
SAS, loads of them, and then it was SAS and blah blah blah, and it
I
became
didn't
a
think
whole
that
thing.
it was that point. It went from because the jungle and the garage was kind of when they was kind of linked. You know, you got
Because the
to a
garage
rave,
was crews.
But you went
Yeah.
you get both of them.
Because you had
Yeah.
crews,
Yeah,
didn't you?
crews.
So you
Yeah.
had Pay As You Go, you
Yeah, and
had
Heartless.
So Solid,
And Heartless and
Heartless.
Page Go and them lot, they all started on drum and bass. That jungle, so
jungle,
they all
Heartless,
yeah. So
I
you
think
can see
Heartless
even the
actually
transition
started
through
on
those
Bashment,
guys.
yeah.
You gotta say it.
Yeah. But again, like I say, the MC side of it, like I said, because once you brought the breakbeats in, that's when the MCs became more prevalent. Do you get what I mean? But at that stage, they still wasn't bigger than the DJ. You were still going to a rave
You know,
for the DJ.
when you had 2 MCs on a flyer
Mm.
and 6 DJs, say, you would go, you'd look at your DJs, but I would definitely look at the MCs. If you had MC, Hyper D on there, you'd want to go. If you had GQ,
Yeah.
Fearless,
Yeah,
you'd want to go.
Yeah.
You know, even
Yeah.
Det on there,
Det,
you'd want to go.
Yeah.
Because you know that they would control that night,
Yep.
and they would do all night between them, and it would work. When it become so many, it become about them, and it overshadowed the music. And then you spend a lot of time getting rewinds for tunes because they all want to go on it. It's too much.
And you got to think about who.
And this was me MCing at the time.
Yeah, the girls were more focused on the MCs because the MCs could actually get in there with them as well. The DJ kind of had to stay up in the booth, so sometimes they didn't even know what the DJ looked like. You know,
That's more of an interaction.
they got a lot more able to interact and just
the
get in there with
crowd.
the people. So, and then just shouting at that girl, she's shit, you know what I mean? So,
And then, like you were saying, with them songs, once you get to garage and like the MCs, it's like people didn't even care who produced the song or who the
Forget about
DJ
It
was
was
or any of that.
instrumentals, wasn't it? It changed
This
from
what I'm saying.
tunes to instrumentals, so MCs
So
could
MCs
just go
could
on
start.
A lot more,
I think we
yeah.
was just saying though that point where the MCs could start mingling with the crowd was the garage scene.
Yeah.
Because the
The
drum and
crowd
bass sort of-
interaction was the crowd interaction.
was the garage scene. Because in the jungle drum and bass days, they're up on stage,
Yeah.
high up,
Yeah.
and you're looking up at them. They weren't on your level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
They were
rarely.
bigger, bigger, weren't they?
the venues were a lot bigger. They had like 3,000
yeah,
people
you're
or
right.
2,000, and
Yeah,
then it started
you're right.
to more clubs.
Yeah.
But you could have
Or
like,
restaurants.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you could more
Couple of
engage with
hundred.
people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the DJ, and you're like, where's the MC gone? And he's over at the bar.
Yeah, with the
Up
mic.
and going, yeah, oli, 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 oli.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? With a drink in his hand.
Yeah.
You're like, bring me one as well.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. But do you feel like the venues, the change of venues over the years affected how raves are put on? Because like like when you talk about the jungle days, like you said, big massive numbers, and even like the venues like Temple and all of them, those kind of venues ain't there no more. Do you know what I mean? So there was a big time where it
There
was
was a lot of trouble, weren't there?
couldn't
So
survive
their
now.
licensing's changed,
Yeah.
and then they didn't want
Bare
certain
people.
events in there.
That's what
They
happened.
banned stuff.
The problem wasn't so much the trouble, because there's always been trouble. It's when they started having trouble inside the venues.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That was the problem. Do you get what I mean? Once the trouble started to happen inside the venue, then the promoters and everybody didn't have a leg to stand on. Cause
No, they just shut the club down. Them
no, but
days.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The
Yeah.
promoter, everybody, the owner, everybody didn't.
And that was
That's why I
before
love
risk
it.
assessment. Do you get what I'm saying? They'll just shut up because if it was risk assessment days, it's like, right, was you playing at a club where a shooting happened? Oh, well, they start looking at your name like, it's like, no, nothing to do with me. I wasn't even the promoter there.
Your name's been on 3 flyers and they've been 3 incidents. You got something to do with that.
Definitely.
You do start worrying about your safety when you start playing at some points. I've been to many a club in South London and things have happened.
I've been to more than a few.
That's what I'm saying.
Gunshots, gas let off, bottles flying across the dance floor.
So yeah.
Good Friday night.
Yeah,
Good Friday.
Come out and still tell the story.
Do you think it's got safer or do you think it's got...
It must be safer because ain't nothing really going on.
Good point.
Because if there was,
We'll find out.
If there was the masses,
Shut.
if there was the masses that were happening when we they have to do festivals now. That's how you're doing it now. Festivals and you like whole heap of people, but to get in is all. You got to have a chip in your arm to get in. It's not just like jumping over the fence like it was maybe 15, 20 years. It's deep now.
20 of you can rush the side of the fence or something.
So
metal detectors.
3 of you might get in.
Yeah, the whole thing on that is there's a lot more. So if they were to do like 3,000 raves now with 3,000 capacity just in every other week in the same place, I don't think that would work now. How it was working in our days.
No, 3,000 capacity every week. Wow.
What like you say, Temple?
Yeah.
That place was ram every
week.
The queues went down the road.
That's
like
right.
to Bruce
That was
Grove.
crazy,
Do you know
man.
what
Do
I'm
you know what I mean?
saying?
It was peak. So
Classic venues, but they ain't got them anymore. Do you know what I
nah,
mean? So
Stratford
sometimes
Rex gone.
There was a big point in time where it was just restaurant conversions. Remember that place like Silks and Spice? I don't know if you remember somewhere like that. That was a restaurant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Converted at night time or Bankside and all those kind of places. Like
I
it
think
was,
Fabric's probably one of the only
Yeah.
standing, and even they got closed down.
I was gonna say,
And they come back.
But they
You got
moved-
338, but that's an indoor, outdoor.
Yeah.
But that's why I think everything moved to Hoxton.
Yeah.
Because it was
Good
like
point,
that. Like, okay, let's just put everything in that area and do what you want. And there's all bars all over the place, playing all different kinds of music. It isn't like for one genre. You can go and find anything there. I think it's one place in London that you can actually go and say, well, doesn't matter what
That's
we're
more
going
like
to.
a kind of bar crawl. And
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what
like
you're saying
the
about
underground
one to
place.
one.
That's what you're saying about restaurants.
What's that place where you DJ'd? For Matt. What was that club? Just before, when you go down. One of the last times we went out when he DJ'd. Where we had the can of
Just
drink.
under the bridge.
Just
Oh yeah,
before.
the bridge.
It's shut now. It's not Cargo. It's
You go up the
one.
stairs.
Club Syria?
No.
No, I think it was the Orange Bar or something like that.
No.
Don't you go up the stairs?
Yeah, there's like some spiral stairs that you go in. I know the one.
That's gone. Anyway.
Yeah.
There's so many.
But yeah, there's some.
Yeah.
But like you say, it is more about restaurants and little small things now. They don't really have the big capacities anymore. Not that I know of. I ain't been to away for 2 years at least.
Yeah.
Since COVID.
Yeah, a couple, innit?
All right. Well, just to throw it out there, I know we're saying about the Old Boys Club. I don't know if we actually agreed on that or we disagreed or what happened with that one, but that's by the by.
Old Boys Club, definite.
Definitely, yeah. All right, cool.
Definite.
I'm a side track anyway because I always hear, especially in the music industry, I've heard it for years, that over here we don't have, for want of a better word, a bring-in or a co-signing culture. I always hear that from Americans, and every artist from England that I know who's been to America, they always say that to me, like, man, when I went there, man, like, you can't even like MC for someone, like, you know what I mean? If you spit a lyric to someone, they'll be like, oh man, my mate's a producer, or do you know what I'm saying? My cousin's an A&R, man, you gotta come with me, and they're like paying for cars and cabs and trying to take you places just to say they know the guy from England who can spit, kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, in England, is that true? Do we not bring through talent? Are we the kind of people who, if we hear Fire MC, we kind of like go, yeah, all right.
I think our industry is not as big as America's as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't think it's a size thing. I just think like
It goes
No.
back.
You
It,
see,
goes,
like-
it goes back to the old man club issue.
this is what I was gonna say, because
Definitely.
I'm all right. You're saying Jason let you in, showed you how to mix and
so
blah
that's
blah
the
blah.
thing.
Yeah. Your mate let you mix, blah blah blah. You was MCing to the party, blah blah blah. When you got through, you said, wait, you linked up with Jay, wait, what? We're on the
but to
stage.
be fair,
I
can I just say something?
Go on.
We brought in see, when we come to Passion FM, the platform that we were on and the age that we was at, we brought in a lot of people. We helped lots of DJs who we knew at that point.
But it's friendship. I would say that
friendship,
the bringing thing
yeah.
is more about your circle
Right.
than it is about
some random guy.
So if we met someone randomly, unless they were special, you probably think, yeah, all right. So, which makes what you're saying right, that we don't really have that.
So then right.
Because we had that.
So then can we really
You
be
make your own gentleman's
So then
club.
can we really be upset with any gentleman's club? Because that's what you kind of half do, right?
Definitely.
You go through with your boys, you get to a certain level, and you keep it in house.
Definitely.
No,
That's why the
isn't that
singles
kind of
got
what?
to
No, isn't that kind of what people do here? I'm saying in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm
They
not
do
saying
that
that's what you
everywhere,
should
though.
do.
No,
I'm saying
that's
isn't
what
that
it
what
is.
happens here?
They do
Because
that.
like I said,
But
I'm
that's why
not. No, I'm
people
not
make
saying.
their own
Everyone tried to
No,
keep it in their own
I'm
circle.
not saying old boys club in America don't exist. What I'm saying to you is that in America people are more open to bring you places and to basically to almost.
Give you a step in the.
Well, they
direction.
more want to be able to say I was the guy.
Yeah.
Whereas people over here don't look at it like that. They're more looking at it like I am the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
forget
yeah.
who brings them
Yeah.
in. So
Do you get what I mean?
I think
That makes sense.
everyone gets to bring in. But one thing that happens here, people forget who brings them in.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's like-
definitely.
100%.
And
The
that's what
bringing
I'm saying about
happens.
the culture, because
Yeah.
over here, it goes back to the mindset. What you want from it. Because I just explained, if all you want from it is to be like, yeah, see that guy, man? Yeah, I brought him to the producer. That was my cousin, man. Yeah, the producer, man. That first beat, yeah, man, that was my cousin's beat, and I brought him to the studio.
Yeah,
I met him at
yeah.
the train station, man. Just a random guy. If that's all you want from it, then you're happy to see that guy on TV.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you get what I'm saying? But like what you just alluded to is, if the person doesn't remember whatever that means, who brought them in, that means
No, then you're
there's an
holding
expectation. No, that means there's an expectation from the bringing. That's my point.
Not
So,
necessarily.
what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is,
people change stories
what I'm
as
saying
well,
is, what I'm saying is, no, let me just. What I'm saying is, most people bring people in or co-sign them to be better than them.
Yeah.
That's usually the goal.
But you know, in America,
Because
like,
you don't usually
I
you
think
don't
Luke's
usually
right
want
as
your
well.
protege. You don't usually want your protege.
to be better than you.
No, you don't usually want your protege to not be better than you. You usually groom somebody to be better than you.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
so
yeah.
like for example, if you're grooming your son, you wouldn't want him to be not as good as you at football or whatever. If you're training him for something, you'd want him to be better than you.
Yeah,
That's your protege.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
a boxing coach and you're training your protege, you don't want him to be whatever county level. If he was a world
Because they
champion,
look bad
want
on
him
you,
to,
innit?
Yeah.
you want him to be an undisputed champion. You want him to
Yeah.
be. Do you get what I mean? Free weight division champion. Do you get what I'm saying? You want him to be
I
better
think
than you.
Luke's right in a way as well, in the sense of like we tend to keep it in our circle more.
Yeah,
than
and that's
outside of the circle.
and that's a cultural thing.
But when I answered that, I was speaking in the terms of DJing, MCing.
Yeah, of course,
Producing
of course.
is different. So if you're a producer and there's a singer or a rapper or an artist, you'll bring anyone. in if
Anyone.
they're
Yeah, of
good,
course.
because that person will give you the hit because they listen to the singer.
But-
But if the singer looks good, they sing well, they know what they're doing, and you can build a tune, doesn't even necessarily need to be great. Because the singer will take that away.
definitely,
And as a producer, bringing anyone in would work.
would work.
But as artists and trying to keep, especially in an underground scene, and especially when you're trying to make somewhere yourself, I think you would try and just play it down maybe and not want that.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if he was bringing up MCs all the time, I might think, and if I was bringing up, let's bring this DJ every week, let's bring this DJ, for you it becomes.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
That's not
Exactly.
being him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it's like
Exactly.
you've got to, there's
Exactly.
there's
And,
kind of
and that's why I
loyalty.
say, that, and I'm glad you used that word, because that's my point, is that any old boys club that's just basically what it is, isn't it? If you're working with somebody or working with people, then you have a certain amount of loyalty with them people and to them people.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you get to a certain level and you have a certain amount of control, it becomes in-house.
Yeah.
You see that
But
with,
it's
you
that,
see,
it's
you
that
see
moment
that.
where it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. When you've got a good team, and that's what I'm saying. With a good team, you can actually, like the guys are sitting in front of us right now. We can tell a story, and it's got layers. We can go back with them. With a lot of people, as soon as they got there, they're gone.
Yeah,
And then it's not even like you wanted them. Like you said, you just wanted to say, but
that's my guy.
So when you hear him in an interview and he's lying though, so it's not even about you that he's lying. You know, there's a few people he should have said Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not just about yourself. It's like if people have their own way of how they want to tell the story, and sometimes the record labels or whatever, like you say with artists, told them to tell a story a certain way. They give them a dialogue to run with. Do you know what I mean? And the age and all of that.
And then certain people get left out of the story.
You know what I'm saying? It suits their narrative for people to get left out. That's what I think happens with the cosign culture. I feel like everybody in this world has to get some sort of cosign or inspiration. Do you know what I mean? Or someone in terms of their way forward, and even just to get in one door. Do you know what I mean? Like the thing is, could be the house party. Like you say, you know what I mean? The house party
in England. Just to get back to the cultural thing, in England, what I find is a lot of the hookups come by way of chance. Yeah. So the conjurer or the person who introduced you maybe didn't even bring you to introduce you. Exactly. But you met that person through them. Do
you understand?
Do you get me? And it doesn't necessarily mean that person would have not done it, but they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, in American culture, they love bigging each other up.
And
big up this guy, big up that guy.
And that's my point. It's a cultural thing.
Before they send the first
It's a
bar,
cultural thing.
It's a cultural list. Big up this, big up that DJ.
Shout outs. We're pull out a book and you'll be looking through pages of shout outs. Do you know? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whether you mean it or you don't mean it. The point is, if I was with you throughout everything, bro, and then you get there and you famous and you don't shout me out, it doesn't have to be like, I'm not talking about on every record, but you know, even if it's just like, yeah, man, we got my boys into it.
Yeah,
that's it. Even just that, I'm like, it's my
it's
my boy. Hey!
Don't have to say no names.
No,
just say a code word that only you know.
Only you know.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Put a lyric in one of your tunes for the man them. You know what I'm saying? When you used to play football in the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Something, anything. Do you get what I mean? And I think that's what hurts a lot of people. Do you get what I mean? It's like, like.
Anything like you didn't no mention at all.
Because from that you can that can breed something that can breed hatred towards the person.
Well, it's just like
why it compresses the industries as well.
Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I'm part of the story. I'm part of your.
I've never understood it. I've seen. I've worked with people and they've done it. So I've never understood it. I've watched masters of people do it, and they don't. But one thing is good is they don't diss. They don't say nothing rude. So it's like they just. But they don't say nothing at all. But maybe it suits them to paint a picture of I've done this myself. And you know, I'm not a person that would ever want to even say I've done anything myself, because what's the point? Like, where's the joy in that? But a lot of people have that. I did this all myself. You're like, rap yourself.
What? No one helped. No one.
Nick Telonio lyrics. There's an MC now on the scene now. Big. When we was on radio.
Talk him near, man.
When we was on radio. Alfie, his name is. Yeah. He used to phone up our radio on the station and hail us up all the time, listening to him.
See.
Yeah.
I actually used to MC with him.
Yeah.
At the Marquee, so I was a resident.
Yeah.
And at the Marquee, and he hadn't quite got there
through. Yeah.
Hadn't quite, and he was best friends or close friends with another MC who was my MC partner, the MC that was on the flyer.
Big
lineups, big lineups at the time, you know, and our radio was off, so we had the whole weekend to ourselves, listening to the radio, and I'm just there like that. And everyone's like, you hearing this? And I'm just like, I didn't even clock it at the time. I'm just like this, and then, listening to his word for word. I phoned him. So, but this is back when we all had house phones and stuff like that.
What did he say?
I phoned him and he was like, first he tried to say he didn't know who I was, and then he did. And then he said, chat my lyrics. And I said, it's not that.
That's right, I remember that.
It's not that. He goes, no, he goes, chat my lyrics. Yeah, so.
Don't need your lyrics.
That's not what I do.
That's the second time you got asked to do that as well, isn't it?
I don't.
The first time was when you first got on the decks. Someone said, just check some other people's lyrics.
And I said no then.
Yeah. So now he wants to do it.
Following your whole career, mate. Following you your whole career, mate.
But I didn't rap about cars and that.
Oh, mate. So drifting in and out, staying relevant, still doing music, and full circle. Do all roads lead back to music?
For me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When it's your passion.
Yeah, I don't know.
When it's your passion. See, I lost the buzz.
Like I said, on and off.
You're supposed to
when
though
you're
as well.
family man, it's harder.
Yeah, definitely.
Just find different ways. Because I feel like we mature into your creativity as well. You know what I'm saying? So you find different ways to do it. You find different ways to still enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's right,
But
yeah.
society tells you to stop it.
Yeah.
And that's
Definitely.
it's nothing to do with your passion or losing the thing. It's like society's making you feel like I shouldn't be doing this. Or I shouldn't be
Yeah.
I think for me it was a backup plan. I was like, you know what? It's all well and good making £200 a week.
Yeah.
But once that stops, what's gonna happen? And for me, I took a step from the scene because it was about, before I even had kids, it was about setting up a foundation for my retirement.
And having a life as well.
And because I just thought, you know what? Really, everybody in the scene's all buzzing. Everybody's buzzing. So no one's really seeing it for what it is. You know what I mean? I say buzzing, drinking or whatever else.
It's one big buzz, isn't
It's
it?
one, every weekend you're out on the thing, and I started thinking, you know what? Actually, let me kind of
lean back
and try and find myself. And you know, I don't regret it at all personally.
No, I think if you wouldn't be able to be better if you don't take time out.
Yeah.
You can always when you come back into stuff, you're like, I can tell I'm already
Yeah,
sharp.
ready now.
Like, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about making sure that you continue. I think it's important for our kids to see that we never let go of our passions as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. You can't stop doing the things that make you happy. I believe that anyway.
No, definitely.
And I don't think you can be happy unless you do all the things that you enjoy. I don't. Like I say, for example, you might like football. You don't have to play. You might just watch the football. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're a guy who loves football and you're not playing football, you're not watching football, then I'm not sure you're really going to be happy, because that's part of your happiness. Do you get what I mean? If you're somebody who likes to go to the gym, same thing. If you're somebody, do you know what I mean? Like, you're never really going to be happy unless you're doing the things that make you happy. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people go through their life not doing half the things that make them happy, and try to create their happiness in other people, or other things,
And profiling.
Just other people, other things.
Yeah.
So, for example, you hear people say all the time, I do everything for the kids. It's like, well, you can't, because the kids are going to get older and do their thing, and then you're going to be, I have nothing to do. Mofo in your house. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
if you don't find
you have to have your life.
thing.
You have to have your life. It doesn't mean you don't put everything into your kids. Obviously, you do that, but you still have to have your life. You still have to have your interests. Well, it's not even a backup plan. It's you. You're still alive. Life's for the living. You're not dead. It's not like, now I've got, my kids have a life, now I have no life. It's not that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you still have to, because then that's why you see people being disgruntled around their kids, because they're not happy.
So
Do you get me? How you going to be happy with your kids? You're not happy. That make no sense. Do you get what I'm saying? You sitting there, you wondering why every time they do something really random, it's because you're not happy, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? If you was happy, that wouldn't be nothing. Yeah, they spilled a drink. You wouldn't be screaming and shouting. Do you think your missus would be screaming and shouting when the kids spill a drink if she wasn't tense and peed off and uptight and, do you get what I'm saying, highly strung, because she just needs to relax, man. She needs some me time. She needs to go and do the things that make her happy and remember herself and smile again. Do you know what I'm saying? And all that kind of good stuff that the kids are doing. Do you get what I mean? Because you pay for everything for them to smile. And you thought that they should never be unhappy. That's why you sit around doing their unhappiness for them.
That don't make no sense.
Come on, man.
That's
it's crazy because they can be at a proper reasonable age before they even know what you do. Like, they could be like 16 and like you show them what you do, and they'll be like, "Whoa!" You know what I'm saying? But you just didn't think that they would care for something. But you was just parent for so long that you didn't even show them any of your talents. You know what I mean?
To be fair, you spend so long doing that parent thing that whatever you are, that's by the by anyway.
Yeah,
if you understand what I mean.
Definitely.
Do you get what I mean?
Definitely.
So it's only when they get to a certain age they would even, and half of them don't ever. I think because we assume they wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We just assume they were there. Do you know what I mean? Or we make a joke out of it. We make a joke out of it, so it just becomes something that's just in jest. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, I was thinking to myself, I was gonna go left, but I think I'll keep it simple because we have digressed enough. And yeah, unless there's anything else you lot want to push, promote, put out there, because I know you lot are still doing bits. So, Luke, I know you're...
Yeah, well, you know, if you need a DJ. So...
promote it away, mate. Promote it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I've gone...
I know you've got... Yeah.
around everywhere. So, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it now is something that I probably never in a million years thought I would do. I'm sure probably you guys never thought I would get into anything like that. I think it's a stigma with kind of mobile DJs or wedding DJs being like a disco Dave, and that's not what we are. It is bringing influences of everything that I've gone through with the underground scene, the rave scene. Obviously, when you're doing weddings, you're going to play a mixture of music, a lot of it the same. But when there's that chance, just to kind of put things on its side and just to take things somewhere else, that's what's done.
You're the guy.
Yeah, that's where we go.
And
And it's a full-on show. Multi-awards we've won, which is something that's really nice to have come out with, and yeah, probably more to come as well.
How did you find you guys? Yeah, how did you find you guys?
So we're everywhere online. So the company is called Platinum Disco. We're also Platinum Entertainment, and we kind of cover everything there is when it comes to parties. We have more or less every extra that you can add. Sound systems up to 1,000 people. So they're not necessarily just small things we do. And it's all bespoke. So literally everyone can design. All our clients design everything. We've just got many combinations of this, and yeah, it's a good look in the mobile industry. We're kind of on a high pedestal and aim to just get better.
Yeah, amazing.
Cool.
Yes.
As you still gonna come out there and trip the light fantastic every once in a while.
Still DJing on and off every now and again.
Yeah, because I know you. Your worst. You and Apple are very similar, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't wanna come out here.
I recently done a live stream with MC Kai and Secret Agent.
Oh, right.
For all those that know,
Yeah. So you're coming out a little bit. You're coming out a little bit. All right. We might have to put together a little live stream for you know what I mean?
Definitely.
The old boys club. Do you know what I mean? Get our own little old boys club together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bring your friends.
Keep the youngsters out.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, fun and joke aside, man. Thank you guys for coming down.
Thanks
it's been a pleasure. Do you know what I mean?
You didn't say what you up to now? You're getting back in?
No, I'm retired.
Yeah, fully?
Yeah, I got my blue badge. I got my Zimmer frame.
Never coming back?
No, he's coming back on the live stream. He's coming back on the live stream. You can only do that. You know what I mean? If you want to talk to him, I've already signed him in, locked him in 5-year contract. Do you know what I'm saying? He's locked in. So yeah, if you want to talk to him, talk to his agent.
Yeah, talk to the agent.
Literally.
Agent X.
Yeah, talk to his agent. But yeah, but seriously, guys, thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming and blessing me with your presence. We got there in the end. And yeah, man. Everybody in the house, full house today. Big up yourselves. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, onwards, clarity, draw out, dislike, unfollow, unsubscribe, all of that. Later.